Hey, Jack. All right. You got this stuff?
Yeah. All cleaned and oiled.
Oh, yeah. Beautiful. Beautiful. Let's get it on.
Who are these guys?
It's my theme music. Every good hero should have some.
Live from Springfield, Missouri, the one, the only, Pop
Excuse me. Can I get a cup of coffee? Black? Can't you see we talking? White?
Hey, good morning.
Good morning. How we doing today?
I'm doing good.
Good. Good.
Have to fill in for Martine this morning. He's got stuff to take care of, so I'm attempting to fill in his shoes, but so things probably won't be as professional as we normally are.
Nah. We're all fellow friendly nerds here. It's all good. Well, hope everybody's having a good day today as we are quickly approaching the weekend. New York Comic Con.
I thought that was last weekend.
No, that's this weekend.
Oh, 13th? Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's definitely the place to be if you'd like to be at a big convention. That is definitely the place to be. Now, if you want to do something a little more regional, visioncon.net. Check that out and then come join me. I hope Gary, a few other people. We're all going to be instant friends. Come on, trust me.
Yeah. It's a great con. I'm sad I can't be there this year.
I know, right? This is definitely going to be the time to be there because it's beginning to feel more and more like old home week as certain people that haven't been there in a while are looking at coming to this. So, yeah. Wolverine 626. What? Phyllis Coates. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Phyllis Coates was the woman that was brought in to replace the Lois Lane that they had for the movies, and that was definitely in the pilot for the television series, which was a movie. But Phyllis Coates actually got cast to be in the series and replaced Noel Neill, who is the original Lois Lane. Full stop. There's nothing else to add because she is. I mean,
yeah.
She was the first woman to portray Lois Lane on film, and so far followed that up with the television series, The Adventures of Superman, and but Phyllis Coates was the one that at least set everything up and made sure that Lois had great representation on TV starting out. Man, I wish I could have met her. Anyway, yeah, it's condolences go out to her family, friends, and fans. And Anima says, One day I'll be with you guys at the con. I hope so, Anima.
Yep.
The best piece of advice I can offer to anybody that's never been to one of these things before is make sure you wear really comfortable shoes, because you're going to be doing a lot of walking.
Oh yeah.
Even if it's a small con, wear comfortable shoes. Trust me, you'll be glad you did. So, speaking of people who are no longer with us, unfortunately, the great Keith Giffen has passed away. Now, for those who may not recognize the name, Keith Giffen was a writer and artist, and he passed away a few days back at the age of 70. I gotta say, I like the official statement the family released, which was actually a message written by Keith Giffen himself to be put out there, which shows part of the reason why I really, really, really liked him.
Yeah.
Excuse me. I must say that if there was one person who, in my opinion, pretty much became one of the dominant voices of comics, late 80s going into the 90s, it was Keith Giffen.
Yeah.
And, he just knew how to add humor without the humor becoming the focus and for you to be distracted, because you still had to tell a story. And he knew how to take characters and give them a sense of humor that, from the way that he wrote it, was not incompatible with whoever they are. Again, the biggest thing is he was able to give Batman even a sense of humor, but it still fit.
Yeah.
It wasn't odd. It was just more in keeping with who he was. And that is really an incredible ability, to be able to do something yet not disrupt who the character is. It's definitely a lesson that a lot of Marvel and DC people could really, really use right now in comics. Because, again, these last 8 years have just not been good. The quality is just not there. So, and again, from the guy who, in my opinion, had probably one of the best runs in the history of the Justice League for DC Comics. Wow.
That's my favorite run.
Yeah, it's definitely one of mine. It was just, he made it really the book to get. And, Legion of Superheroes, Justice League International. I mean, from creating characters like, Lobo and Rocket Raccoon from Marvel Comics.
Yep.
I mean, my thing is, at least he lived long enough to see the Jaime Reyes Blue Beetle make it to the big screen.
Yeah, he created that version of Blue Beetle too.
Yep. And he also created the single most powerful character in all of comics. Ambush Bug. The one character that not even Deadpool can kill. So, and for those of you thinking Squirrel Girl couldn't take Ambush Bug. As annoying as she is sometimes, Ambush Bug would even annoy her. He had the upper hand in every situation. But basically, he had had a stroke, and that is thought to be one of the contributing factors to him eventually passing away.
Yeah.
But the statement that his family put out there, and I think this was originally released on X, aka Twitter. Keith Giffen. I told him I was sick. Anything not to go to New York Comic Con. Thanks.
Yeah, I'll share it again.
It is just an example of how funny this guy was. He had a sense of humor that, wow. Wow.
Yeah, it's like I said. I was lucky enough. I got to meet him, and I got some autographed books. Got some of my books autographed by him. So
lucky. So lucky.
That was at Planet Comic Con.
Mm-hmm. I wasn't able to get close to his table. Every time I seemed to want to go over and, you always had people.
Oh, yeah.
So I got a chance to see him, but I never got a chance to meet him. Meeting of the Keiths. But I think the comic book world has lost another major talent. And there's definitely no one, let me repeat this, no one currently involved in comics that could even come close to doing 1/10 of what Keith Giffen was able to accomplish.
Yep.
So, true giant. Made his own way. And that's the important thing. He found a niche. He found where he fit, and he just went to town doing it again and again and again. So, today, just for those of you who own a lot of comics, go through it. If you've got some, give a good rereading to some of those. And for those of you who have no idea who he was, you're in for a treat. I highly, highly recommend his Justice League run in its entirety.
Starting in 87.
Mm-hmm.
And was it 93?
Yeah,
94.
but I mean Justice League and Justice League International. And
the spinoffs, Justice League Europe and Justice League Antarctica.
Yep. He had fun doing it. That was the thing. He had fun doing it. And his Lobo books, which again, in my opinion, that was just what and who Lobo was, the way that Keith Giffen did it.
Yep.
And of course, the main man, the character, Ambush Bug, his specials, Christmas specials, and other things. Trust me, you are in for something truly unique, because Keith Giffen was the one who started the whole thing with breaking the fourth wall and talking directly to the reader. That was Ambush Bug.
Yep.
Long before Deadpool.
Even before She-Hulk did it.
Yep. Even before She-Hulk. That was Ambush Bug. That was part of his power. Now, he wasn't the first to do it, but the way Keith Giffen wrote, there was nobody that did it quite like he, and it's consistently funny. Every time he did a ambush bug book or run, it never lost any quality, and it was just as funny. So, yeah. Again, to lose someone like that, that's wow.
Well,
But
we're gonna be losing the greats on a regular basis nowadays. Because
yeah, well, when you put it like that, yeah.
Well, the at least the Bronze Age, Silver and Bronze Age talents, because obviously all the Golden Age are gone.
Yeah. Oh well. Anyway, to his family and friends and multitude of fans around the world, my condolences and Godspeed, Keith Giffen.
Yeah, he was the if you've ever heard the somebody mention the one punch or say blah ha ha ha, that's Keith Giffen. The one punch is specifically him. Guy Gardner was saying that he could beat Batman without his ring, and Batman's like, well, or he could beat Batman, and Batman says, take off your ring and prove it. So he does, and he knocks him out with one punch. Batman knocks out Guy Gardner with one punch.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Gardner had been challenging for a few issues. He'd been very argumentative and was really, not just with Batman, but with a lot of other leaguers. The guy was a blowhard. And he was really, really annoying to both the Flash and Black Canary. And Black Canary missed it.
Yeah.
By the time she got off the mission she was on, Flash, she overheard the Flash laughing about the whole thing. And they find him knocked out. Nobody bothered picking him up off the floor.
Oh, no.
And that's the other part of the joke.
He was under that table for like 3 issues.
Almost, no. Yeah, 3 issues. But the second issue, he spent the entire issue completely knocked out and missed an alien invasion.
Yep. And then he goes to set up and knocks himself out again.
Yep. Keith Giffen. Wow.
Yep.
It's one of my favorite things that he did with Justice League. That was just amazing. And again, the way he wrote all those characters, the way he set up those scenes and drew everything. And when Gardner throws his ring, do you remember what Gardner initially did with his ring, though?
No, I know he threw it away, but I don't remember.
No. Okay. The joke was he thought he was a big deal.
Yeah.
He thought that people like the Flash looked up to him and stuff. So when he takes off his ring, the way that Giffen set up the structured the look of the scene, it's Guy Gardner facing the audience like he's talking to Batman, and you see Flash behind him. So when Gardner throws his ring, he actually throws it over his shoulder to the Flash. And you see the Flash catches it, he looks at it, holds it with 2 fingers, and then he just throws it over his shoulder.
Yeah. I remember that now.
Yeah, it's funny the way that entire thing is set up. And if you're gonna challenge Batman for leadership, because Batman makes the definitive case, he's like, I'm the leader because. and starts naming off all this stuff, and Gardner isn't having it, and
Yeah, that's what led to the personality shift in Gardner because after he hit his head, he was suddenly super nice guy, and him and Ice ended up getting together for a while till he got his memory back and his personality back, and then he became the jerk again.
Yeah, well, it's one of the reasons why this totally gets into the whole Green Lantern thing. One of the reasons why it's going to be so hard adapting Green Lantern, the Silver Age versions of the characters, is that a lot of these characters are done differently. There's nothing really too consistent about them. It depends on what team of individuals, what writer and artist have done with them. And when you look at, say, like, when you look at all the different characters, whether it's Hal Jordan, John Stewart, and Guy Gardner, there are many different versions of them depending on, major changes for a lot of those characters. Initially, it's a lot of antagonism between Hal and John, but those two end up becoming close. And then the curious thing about Guy Gardner is, for some reason, John seems to really get along with him. He's just a jerk to everybody else.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's, again, the power of Keith Giffen.
Yep.
That brings us to the next big story. But first, let's go ahead and say hello to the chat. I don't want to jump into anything else big. So, Penny, how you doing? And Anima Confusa, Andy Morrow, Mrs. A, the aforementioned Wolverine 66. Wow. Let's see. Oh, according to this, Martin came on for a bit.
Yeah, he's on his way back. He'll be back here shortly, I'm sure. He had to go pick up his brand new passport from the embassy. So,
let's see. Mrs. A says, "Oh yeah, Mrs. A, I loved Ambush Bug. I'd forgotten about that character." I am a big Ambush Bug fan.
When we were talking about it last night, I had forgotten about Ambush Bug. So,
oh, really?
Yeah, I mean, I as soon as you said, because we were talking about, you said the most powerful character. I'm like, well, that could be this, that, and the other. And you were talking about Ambush Bug, and I'm like, oh, I forgot about Ambush Bug. Yeah.
Yep.
Definitely. Written to be, because he's exists in more than one continuity at a time.
Yep. And he's not confined to any one universe or story, which in many ways makes him as powerful, in fact, even more powerful than even Batmite and Mr. Mxyzptlk and a lot of those characters, because he again, something that Daredevil took over, but Ambush Bug did it first, is that he knew he was in a comic. and he talked to the people. He related really to the person reading the comic.
Yeah.
And he could either be in that story, or he could be kind of doing running commentary while also existing within the story of
Well,
what's
he's
going on.
he's also crawled from one panel to another. So
Oh yeah. He is a very, very fun character. His whole thing is just having fun. So let's see. And oh yeah. Martin says, "Hail Keith, hail John." Well, hail back to you, Martin. Let's see. He says, "Hello to a few others." Oh yeah, here we go. Kingsport Cal. Wow. And oh, yeah, here we go. Yeah, that happened in a Justice League comic.
Oh
Yep.
yeah.
Yep. And later guy became the Warrior. Yep.
That was back when they basically destroyed all the rings. Because that's when the whole parallax thing happened, and
yeah, that was not a good story. To me,
No.
that's right up there with the Timeless Child.
Yeah.
Within Doctor Who, because there was no good reason to have done that entire storyline, because they weren't gonna. Some people just assume that you would have one Green Lantern on Earth, and it's like, well, you still had 3 technically. I never saw the logic in trying to treat Green Lantern comic and those particular characters from Earth as being antagonistic towards each other. It seems like a lot of them would get along, considering that every time somebody new came along, they got the job of basically defending Earth and Sector 2814.
Yeah.
So I don't know. If I were writing it, if I were doing the show and or movie, it would be more along the lines of a group of people who definitely understood what needed to be done. So,
And the reason why there's so many Earth Green Lanterns is because Earth is a particularly troublesome sector.
Yeah.
Because of all the supervillains we have.
Yeah. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. I will agree with that, Kingsport Cal. You're supposed to forget about Ambush Bug. Yeah, in some ways you are. And that only, in my mind, makes him stand out more. So, and yes, Green Lanterns. Yeah, space police.
Yep.
That's exactly what they are. But also a few other things, personally, I can't see turning Green Lantern over to another director and writers who aren't fans of the material. It makes all the difference, yeah. Anyway.
Well, maybe Feige and company and the rest of the comic book movie producers will realize that cutting fans out of the process leads to failures of their products.
To a certain extent, I just wish they would just go ahead and allow those people who happen to be fans that also work in the business, would give them an opportunity to see what they could do.
Yeah.
There's always room. And as I was saying a couple days back, there's a reason why a lot of the people who started out working with Kevin Feige haven't come back. So, yeah, it really does make all the difference. But Gary at Neurotic pointed out something that, ironically, I had said myself, which is the arc of what Marvel Studios has gone through is exactly what happened in the Marvel comics. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
And now Marvel Studios is being hurt because they've lost sight of their original mission, which is to make product that can how do I put this?
They're there to entertain people.
Yeah, that seems to be what has been forgotten. And it seems to be that, again, as I said last week, it's getting harder and harder to continue to defend Kevin Feige.
Yeah.
Because it wouldn't really take that much to make the necessary changes to get back to what Marvel Studios was doing, from the beginning. Now comes word that now comes down the word that I heard this morning about how they broke the news to Jon Favreau that they were going to kill Tony Stark. And he didn't take it very well. The Russo brothers had to sit him down and tell him. And Favreau warned that that would be a mistake. And I agree with Gary Neurotic. That's borne out to be true. It was a mistake because, as I said back then, what the MCU and these newer Marvel fans need to understand is that from here on out, things are going to get difficult for them. And they're going to find themselves eventually in the same boat that DC fans have found themselves in, which is it's hard to continue to remain fans of just one particular person playing a character. Eventually, you got to understand that this character, being a comic book character, can exist long beyond when you and I are no longer here. Yeah. And so you need to recast. The rumor was that the original idea was for the Avengers to lose an Endgame and for the original 7 Avengers to be killed off. And that Captain Marvel was going to travel back in time and pluck out to travel back in time and to grab Tony and Steve and everyone else when they were a lot younger, and bring them forward and turn them into the Avengers. And from what I heard, that was to be their kind of pseudo Young Avengers. Rather than going with the comic book version of it, they were just going to get younger versions of those particular characters so they could recast with younger actors and have them grow and stay in the roles. So
thank goodness we didn't get that crap.
Yeah.
But, now,
anyway,
Kingsport Cal brought up something here about Daredevil.
we were getting to that. In fact, hold on. Hollywood Reporter from yesterday, written by Boris Kitt. Let's see. Daredevil hits reset button as Marvel overhauls its TV business. Launched during the pandemic with a playbook to shoot 150 million plus seasons with no pilots, the Disney unit is undergoing growing pains and seeing the logic of traditional TV culture. Well, got to get past that. Oh. There we go. The Daredevil revamp is the latest in a series of growing pains for Marvel Television. Since debuting the Emmy-winning WandaVision in January 2021, the studio, which dominated the film industry in the 2010s, has released more than 50 hours of TV programming after creating a small screen division from the ground up during the pandemic. Okay, let's stop there. This is one of the mistakes. They already had a television division. Okay? Remember when Kevin Feige took Marvel Studios from out under Marvel Entertainment, making its own separate division? Well, they already had a television division. And Marvel Entertainment was still being run by Ike Perlmutter. And I think it was
Jeff Loeb.
Jeff Loeb. That's it. Thank you. It was Jeff Loeb who was placed in charge of running their television division, and he got really good at it. I mean, real good. All of you out there who know of Jeff Loeb and have a harsh opinion need to understand that he was the guy who put everything together for all the Netflix Marvel shows. That was all him.
Yep.
Doing that. And he knew what he was doing. I can't see not using them. So, I don't know. Anyway, through it all, the company eschewed the traditional TV making model. It didn't commission pilots, but instead shot entire 150 million plus seasons of TV on the fly. It didn't hire showrunners, but instead developed on film executives to run its series. And as Marvel does for its movies, it relied on post-production reshoots to fix what wasn't working.
Which doesn't work for television.
Wow. Yeah. I just shaking my head here going, wow. I mean, yeah, you can now see why they're having some problems here. Okay, I can get through this. But the amount of stupid is just overwhelming.
Yeah.
Let's see. Even though they remain, along with the Star Wars titles, the most watched shows on Disney Plus, Marvel series have recently faced a number of creative challenges and crimes of diminishing returns from critics and audience metrics, causing a major shift at the studio to move to make TV shows the more traditional way. We're trying to marry the Marvel culture with the traditional television culture, says Brad Winterbaum, Marvel's head of streaming, television, and animation. And as Gary from Nerdrotic says, he's about to get fired. It comes down to, how can we tell stories in television that honor what's so great about the source material?
Hire writers that are fans of the source material.
Ding, 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 ding.
Hire showrunners that are fan of the source material. Yeah.
Something. Wow.
It's not rocket science, folks.
It really isn't. And considering how much money we're talking about being spent, wow. Wow. Okay. So here is the, hold on. Okay. Even though they remain, along with Star Wars titles, the most watched shows on Disney Plus, Marvel series have recently faced a number of creative challenges and cries of diminishing returns from critics and audience metrics, causing a major shift at the studio to move to make TV shows the more traditional way. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, there is a chart included with this story. And it says, let's see, is the Marvel TV machine slowing down? After starting strong with its first 3 series on Disney Plus, the superhero studio's more recent series offerings haven't reached the same heights. It's by Rick Porter. It's kind of embarrassing.
Yeah, Loki has the most with 6.2 billion watch hours or watch minutes, while out of 6 episodes, while all the way at the bottom is Ms. Marvel with 6 episodes and 1.8 billion watch minutes.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
So, yeah. What surprises me, She-Hulk did better than both Moon Knight and Hawkeye.
Doesn't surprise me.
Well, I think they were both better than She-Hulk was.
Well, I mean, Moon Knight had some problems, and Hawkeye had some problems.
But nowhere near the problems that She-Hulk had. But,
I think one of the things that really you have to at least recognize with a lot of this stuff is that when you start comparing how other shows are doing, when you look at other streaming services, there doesn't seem to be as many problems for certain types of shows on either Max or offered through Peacock or offered through almost any other streaming service. There is a lot of pressure that comes from Disney being who they are and what they're presenting. And I think it's now been established that now Disney is the second biggest streamer on the planet.
Yeah.
The numbers that they keep putting out for a lot of this stuff just don't match up with the number of people that they say subscribe. Kind of like, how they were putting out stuff about the success of a lot of the previous offerings on Disney Plus, especially Ahsoka. And it's just not the same thing. You know, you have characters that I don't know.
Yeah.
It boggles the mind how we've gotten to this point. My mind keeps going back to phases 1, from the beginning of phase 1 with Iron Man to the end of phase 3 with Endgame. And it's still hard. I mean, I don't even work for Marvel Studios, and I think I could come up with a way of helping to improve what they have, but they just seem to be really stretching to try to continue to do what they're doing. And it just, from their point of view, it just seems like people just don't want to cooperate.
I
Well, of
can
course,
fix
because
things
you're
with the
handing them bad TV.
I can fix things with the box of pink slips.
That's one way of fixing it, but you may want to wait until after Nelson Peltz somehow gets on the board. Once he and a few of his friends get there, you'll see how quickly things can change. Here we go. With Daredevil's new direction, Marvel hopes to right the ship on a project with sky-high expectations. The show is Marvel's first to feature a hero who already had a successful series on Netflix. Ain't that the truth? Running 3 seasons. But sources say that Corman and Orsi crafted a legal procedural that did not resemble the Netflix version Batman for its action and violence. Cox didn't even show up in costume until the 4th episode. Marvel, after greenlighting the concept, found itself needing to rethink the original intention of the show. Now, I'm a repeat something that Mr. H pointed out, which is, hey, anybody here watching the dailies as they were making this? Because the issue is that for the most part, a lot of this show has been filmed already. I mean, a good portion of Daredevil they were able to get in the can before the strikes.
They got about half of it done.
And now you're going over everything now, and you're figuring out that it's not working. I don't know. I continue to shake my head looking at these offerings. I'm still at a loss of how we got here. And looking at all of these titles, whether you're talking Loki, WandaVision, Falcon and the Winter Soldier, She-Hulk, Moon Knight, Hawkeye, Secret Invasion, What If, Miss Marvel. Out of all those, the only one that I found to be consistent all the way through was What If. You know, WandaVision is a very close second. But the rest of it is just an exercise in trying to stay interested in what they're doing. And wow.
Yeah, they well, I tend to I'm one of the few, I guess, that cheerlead Ms. Marvel because I thought they did a good job with the show.
Oh, it's not that I hated Miss Marvel at all. It was a decent enough show, but it wasn't the right time to introduce that character. You know, you had to. We're talking. You know, you had already reached a point where it was starting to become noticeable that things weren't the same. As far as, well, we shouldn't be here. Let me put it that way.
Yeah.
We shouldn't be here. If Kevin Feige were a little more clued in, and again, as I've said before, if he were as big a fan as he tried to let people think that he was, I don't think we'd be having this conversation. Then again, I don't think Miss Marvel would have ever really been given an opportunity right out of the box, because the character didn't do that much within the comics.
No.
You know, Captain Marvel and Ms. Marvel, Captain Marvel being the current. Yeah. I just shake my head, and I just can't see it. I can't see how any right-thinking fan, any fan of Marvel at all, would have gotten us to this point. And if you needed to take a break from certain characters, there are other characters they could have put together. And now hearing the rumors of what they're doing to Fantastic Four,
well, so far
I'm telling you.
those are just rumors. I mean, there's been nothing confirmed.
I know.
So,
I know. Until they announce everything, but wow. Just wow. I just don't think, in the case of Marvel, I don't think well, yeah, this is painful, is really what it is.
yeah.
Yeah. Here, let me finish the rest of this article. Marvel plans to keep some scenes and episodes, though other serialized elements will be injected, with Corman and Ord becoming executive producers on the 2-season series. Daredevil is far from the first Marvel series to undergo drastic behind-the-scenes changes. Those who work with Marvel on the TV side have complained of a lack of central vision that has, according to sources, begun to affect the studio's shows with creative differences and tensions. TV is a writer-driven medium, said one inside familiar with the Marvel process. Marvel's a Marvel-driven medium.
Yeah. It's...
Wait a minute. Now, let me ask you this, John.
Okay.
Personally, what did you think of Moon Knight?
There were things I liked about it, things I didn't.
Mm-hmm.
I really wish it would have kept a little closer to the source material, but
yeah.
And then it seemed like a vehicle to get, for the last half of the show was suddenly about the girl instead of being Moon Knight.
Yeah.
So, and she's a minor character.
You're right. You're right.
It's just another case of the message being more important than the actual story to them.
Yeah.
With the message in this case being girl boss.
Which sometimes it's not a
girl
bad
boss
thing, but
girl boss can be fine. It's just how it's done that needs to be addressed.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's see. Let's check out some of the comments here. Wolverine626 says, Daredevil being retooled is a good thing. Will it actually be any good, though? And that's the thing. I don't know if I can say... There's something I could say, but it might be a major spoiler. But since they're looking at retooling the whole thing, they may change their minds. And I'm trying to see if it would be worth it just to basically piss even more people off with what I'm about to say. So,
well, it's Wolverine. It's the only way it's going to be good is if they replace some people that's in charge right now. The people making the decision either need to get with the program or be replaced by people that understand the property.
let's see. We're going to go to Kingsport Cowl. I mean, I'm not really feeling Loki. I'm kind of confused. You're not the only one.
I'm hearing that a lot.
You are definitely not alone. Wolverine 626. I like Drew Z. Greenberg's, excuse me, recent, who worked on S.H.I.E.L.D. B-slap of MCU TV. Yeah, he's talented. Let's see. Kingsport Cowl. Moon Knight was trash. Hawkeye kicked ass. Well, you know, I'm glad you like Hawkeye. I've already said what I had to say on that one. It's a complete missed opportunity.
Yeah.
I don't know. Hawkeye could have been really, really, really good. And I'm not saying that you could have changed it to match the comic. But when you have a series called Hawkeye and you've yet to introduce this is insanity. I'm sorry. This is insanity.
Yeah, it is.
You said it yourself. I mean, again, those of us that read the Moon Knight comics, there is a little bit of a difference between the actual comics and what we saw. But there's also a bit of a difference with Hawkeye. And playing by the rules set up in the movies, if you're going to present something called Hawkeye and you've not introduced Kate Bishop yet, people are going to naturally assume that you're talking about Clint. And to have done what they did by just making it the Kate Bishop show, that's really what that's really what they should have indicated from the very beginning, that she was going to be the main influencer of the story.
Yeah, but we knew she was, because that's the push. They were pushing for younger version of characters or complete, it's like, well, let's get the female version of the character in there because current day. Instead of having actual storyline reasons for that being the case.
Yeah. That also leads us into, the whole thing with She-Hulk. And see, I'm starting to just feel like, again, I read this stuff from the viewers. I look at articles. I am finding it really, really difficult not to blame Kevin Feige.
Oh no, he's fully the reason. He's fully a large part of the reason why phases 4 and 5 have gone the way they've gone.
I mean, he didn't have to try to take over Marvel Television. That's the thing about it. And when he did, he got rid of Jeff Loeb. And I'm thinking, why would you want to get rid? I mean, again, there have been certain personal issues, but I look at it this way. This guy did something amazing by doing a deal with Netflix and creating content for Netflix with the characters that they chose. To me, I don't see where the bad portion is. So I don't know. I keep thinking that a lot of this is going to be. I am just genuinely not happy with what Kevin Feige has accomplished. And I put a lot of stuff. Look, I was one of those people that put a lot into it and into Kevin Feige. I trusted him. And I really do feel like I've been betrayed because he's, again, Marvel Studios was formed under the idea that what they make, that the true purpose of what they're making is meant to highlight the comics. And it just seems like since Kevin Feige's star has risen, he's been using what they've been doing in the film, in the films, to basically change the comics. And it's insanity. It's insanity. Oh, wow. Oh, here we go. Kingsport. Cal, Echo. Let me tell you a little something on the side from Gary at Nerdrotic, who had been contacted by someone high up at Marvel. And basically, according to what Gary had to say in one of his most recent videos, he decided not to tell anyone the identity of the person who helped do this. But yeah, it's yeah. The Echo series is not okay. But the best way to explain it is this way: they tried everything they could think of once they saw what they had to not bring too much attention to it and to hope that people actually forgot it existed.
Yeah,
that's basically how bad it is. And so
it's supposedly coming out in January, and they're going to dump all the episodes at once.
Yep.
Something Disney doesn't do.
Well, they're going to do it with this one.
Yep.
And they hope you forget. And my whole thing is good luck with that, because if that were Marvel's only problem, I'd say good on you, son. But they got the Marvels coming up, and that film is not going to be a box office winner. So
no. That's a shame too, because they're ruining my Captain Marvel in the process.
Yeah. Oh, and Anima says She-Hulk was okay-ish for 2 episodes. Then it went down fast. What a shame to waste talent like Tatiana Maslany on crap like that. I agree with you. She is a deserved award-winning and recognized actress. But that She-Hulk show was just...
Yeah. I think the best thing coming out of She-Hulk was the Neil Blonsky stuff. About how he decided to become a therapist for supervillains.
Mm-hmm.
Which I thought was a really good storyline. And Martine's here. Yeah, he could take over.
Yay! Hey, buddy. He may have stepped away. Anyway, Wolverine 626. The fact that Matt Murdock wasn't going to suit up as Daredevil until episode 4 is insanity. And again, I agree with you, except here's the thing. The way this article and others are treating it, how come nobody was watching the dailies long before. To wait until you actually could sit down and watch almost all of the episodes they had filmed, and you come to the conclusion that you have, I don't know.
I don't either.
Yeah. The deeper I get into this, the more I'm just thinking, they should just take some of that money, come get you, John, and just give it to you and just say, run this. Run this.
They don't want to do that. That's I'd make them go back in time for storylines, not this new crap that they want to keep running.
Yeah. Yeah. Kingsport Cal says, I enjoyed She-Hulk. It reminded me of her in the late 80s, early 90s comics run where she had fun being a Hulk and breaking the fourth wall.
Well, it tried to, but it took too much from Dan Slott's run.
Oh, God. Yes. Yes, it did. Yes, it did. Wow. Let's see. I agree. Kingsport Cal. Miss Marvel was very family oriented and is something that my daughter enjoyed.
Hey, imagine that, a family oriented show on Disney. That's a novel concept. It's not like they've ever done family oriented entertainment before. Oh wait, that's what they're built on.
Well, I will say this about Miss Marvel. It had potential to be more than what it was, but it just seems like a lot of stuff gets hemmed in by certain people, and they just think we're going to continue to go down this road. And you can't do anything to change it. And
yeah,
I don't know.
No. Well, at least I can say this about the Marvels. At least Ms. Marvel will finally get, well, not finally, but she shouldn't even have them in the first place. But at least they'll be reuniting the Mega Bands.
Yeah.
Now we just need Quasar.
Okay. How about this one? Okay, here we go. Kingsport Call says FF has been messed up 3 times. Why not go for a 4th? Because there's no guarantee that they'll even do it right then.
Well, it's been messed up twice because I don't count the 2 movies in the same continuity as being a separate time. And the Roger Corman was actually done fairly right. If Roger Corman would have had Marvel's budget, we wouldn't be talking about anything else.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, first family of fandom. I've always thought that carried a little weight, but not with a lot of these writers today. So
nope.
And yes, Wolverine 626. Given Disney's track record, those laughable Fantastic Four rumors are highly believable. And
yeah.
Oh well.
But I agree with what you said. With everything going on, I don't think they'll gender swap or race swap Ben Grimm at this point. Although they still might. They can be insensitive like that.
I there was a time I honestly thought that Kevin Feige could actually take over for Bob Iger and just run everything.
Well, it's a good thing we found out he couldn't before he did.
Yeah, well.
Yeah. As far as I'm concerned, I'm of the kill everything off and reboot everything, start over.
And that's technically what they were going to try to do. I mean, that's really what they were going to attempt to do it after Endgame. And it didn't work out that way. And we find ourselves where we are right now. Yeah.
Yeah, it's because they want to do it with 5th and 6th string characters instead of A and B list characters.
See, here's another one. On the plus side concerning Hawkeye, I didn't find Kate Bishop insufferable. Had nothing wrong. I saw nothing wrong with Haley Stansfield and the character of yeah. Anyway, I just think that there was no indication of having a bigger, newer deal with Jeremy Renner, and him having established the name of Hawkeye just to be taken out by an arrow.
Yeah. Well, and
I just
real life's precluding on them fixing that, so we're stuck with Kate Bishop for the foreseeable future.
We're also stuck with Ironheart.
Actually, I've heard that Ironheart may not see the light of day.
Well, she's been delayed. We're looking at 2026, 2027.
Well, see, that's what they'll do is they'll push it back, and then when you've forgotten about her, they'll just won't mention her again. Because people realize that after, I think they realize that yeah, they finally got the level of bad press that made them notice about Ironheart.
Oh yeah.
There is a way they could do Ironheart right, or not right, but do it in such a way that it wouldn't be offensive to the fans of the Marvel universe. But they won't go that route, because that would mean dumping multiple dump trucks of money up to Robert Downey Jr.'s house.
I'm not saying he'd turn it away, but
No, well.
Hey guys.
Hey, welcome back.
At last. Ooh, I have some serious audio problems, but here I am. Hey, how are you?
Doing good.
Trying not to get too frustrated.
Oh, that is hard with all the news in entertainment as of today. But we have to be happy. We must be happy. Keep a fresh face.
Yes.
Well, things are bad, but they maybe can get better. I mean, Disney's this move with Daredevil, they may be seeing the light at last, or maybe they're going to do it worse. You never know.
I think it's pressure from Peltz. They're like, oh crap, he's got a real shot at taking over. We need to start fixing things.
Yeah.
There's that, but
I'm wondering if they've gone to CYA mode. So at this point, that's what this seems like a little bit to me.
Okay, where are we with Kingsport? Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yes, I don't heard you talking about that. Yeah, that's how we got there here.
Yeah. Actually, it's not incompetence. It's willful
stupidity.
willful maliciousness, because they care, like I've said multiple times, they care more about pushing their agenda and their message than they do about producing good quality entertainment that at least sticks to somewhat to the to honor the characters. They don't care about any of that. All they want to do is push their story, push their ideals.
Well, you heard what this guy Andrew Garfield said. Then it's their job to educate us. And yes, Kingsport. That Adam Warlock. That's the only thing I didn't like about the movie was the portrayal of Adam.
Halfway, I was fully disappointed with that. Was not Adam Warlock. That was a whiny little bitch, is what that was.
Yeah, it was a waste of actor, to be honest, because that guy can act.
Yeah, I don't think he was right for the character, though.
Yeah, that is true.
But but the way they portrayed Adam Warlock is not a whiny beta male, and that's exactly what the Adam Warlock that we got in that movie was.
It was like a 7-year-old boy trying to please mommy.
Yep.
Oof, X-Men. I don't know what.
At least we won't have to contend with the mutants anymore, and they'll actually be called the X-Men. Although I doubt they're going to be able to do anything proper with it. Not with the current people in charge. I'm sorry. There needs to be. I need to pull out the box of pink slips. Start handing them out.
Yeah, they don't get X-Men. Not even in the comics at this moment. They took some part of it that the X-Men obviously could be an allegory for almost every outsider.
Yeah.
But then they double and triple and when they took it the wrong way.
The X-Men was originally created as an allegory of the civil rights movement from the 60s. And that is what they were built on. And I'm sorry, they don't need to make changes to that. That's, you can build in any other struggle you want to build into that from that point without having to dishonor the original intentions of the characters.
Indeed.
But what do I know? If I knew anything, I'd be working in. If I was actually any good at at that kind of stuff, I'd be working in Hollywood, right?
Well, not according to Hollywood.
No,
Because
no,
now,
not yeah.
if you're a fan, you cannot step into the writer's room. Go figure.
I'll step into the writer's room and I'll bring Lucille with me for Nate Moore. Take a page out of Negan's book.
Hey, kid. You there? Hello.
Well, we seem to have lost Keith.
I
Well,
hope not.
We do have another story.
Oh, yeah.
The SAG after talks broke down last night.
Yeah. Man, all these people in Hollywood, they're like the Spider-Man meme. They are now all pointing at each other.
Yeah.
It's chaos, man.
That's the word.
Hey, welcome back.
Yay!
The producers in the studios say it's they're demanding too much because it would cost like $800 million for them to even, for them on top of whatever it costs to produce all this stuff, just to let them get the share that they want of the streaming. Well, I don't have a problem with them getting some sort of residual, but they shouldn't get a cut of the pie either, on top of the residuals. And that's what they seem to be wanting.
Ooh, that sounds reddish to me.
So, but yeah, so
well,
yeah,
I suppose the thing is, okay, the residuals, but in order to get residuals, the streaming services must release data, and they don't want to do that. So if they're not gonna come clean with that, then a cut of the pie.
nah,
Maybe that's their position. I don't know. I'm talking about the what I would do if in their position. If you don't want to release data, well, give me some of the some good of the pie.
yeah. I'm just looking at that picture of the SAG-AFTRA building and thinking they've got enough money. I mean, that's like a $50+ million building, or more, considering it's in Hollywood. It's in California. I don't know where at in California. It's probably close to Hollywood, somewhere in LA, I'm sure. But yeah, I'm like, however you never mind. I'll get off that soapbox. That's a different soapbox entirely.
Yeah. The thing is, the infight continues. This, oh man,
Yeah.
This is tragic. Not for us, because I mean, there's ton of entertainment to watch. Meanwhile, this kerfuffle gets resolved. I'm thinking all of the little people whose job is frozen.
Oh yeah. What about all the crew members? Forget all the actors. The crew members are the ones getting screwed over in this, and they're the ones always screwed over anytime there's a strike.
It's a shame.
Maybe the crew members need to go on strike and hold all the actors and writers accountable for all the time that they've lost money.
Hell yeah. I don't think they can stand another strike. Not even one of their own.
That's
Jesus, I
true.
mean those people they are burning through their savings.
Yeah. They need. But then again, I mean, you can't expect the producers and the studios to give away the farm either,
Mm.
because that's what SAG-AFTRA wants. Let's see.
What did
Yeah.
you say? What does Wolverine says?
In its message, the AMPTP singled out the union's proposal for casts to receive a cut of the streaming platform revenue as an untenable economic burden that would cost more than $800 million per year. Trade Association also referred to the numerous remaining open items, but did not explicitly state which of the ones those might be. When the two parties restarted negotiations on October 2nd, they still had yet to come to terms on AI regulations and minimum wage rates, among other issues. So yeah, they are way far apart. This is not going to be something that's going to be resolved over the weekend.
Look what Wolverine says. They were offered 20% performance based. That may be the problem.
Yeah, they don't want performance based. They want to get
Yeah.
paid regardless of how good or bad they are.
Mm-hmm.
And see, that's the thing. I like the wording of that, where it's performance based, where your show's got to do good to get paid any extra. And I'm like, that's how things should be. There should be merit pay. I think all this should be merit pay.
Well, but here's the thing too. You're an actor. You don't have any say in what the writers do.
Yeah.
You may put your best effort. You can give an absolute excellent performance, but people is not watching the show because the writing doesn't work. So in a way the actors are in a bad position too, because they're depending of the work of the quality of work of others. It's not an easy situation.
Yeah. Well, this says that they were offered the same success-based residual for high-budget SVOD titles, which is what the Writers Guild of America cinched in its latest negotiations. Also included were the issues that SAG-AFTRA has been looking to make headway on for years, and increase to pension and health contribution caps between 22 and 33%, in the incorporation of performance capture work in SAG-AFTRA TV theatrical agreement. The AMPTP said it offered the same minimum rate increase that it offered the DGA and the WGA, 5%, 4%, 3.5% over the course of the contract. And the AMPTP additionally touted that it suggested a 76% increase in high-budget SVOD form residuals for the 4 largest streaming services.
Besides, the thing is, you can accept a role, and with not all the script finished, and then mid-show, the quality goes to trash.
Yeah.
Looking at you, Moon Knight.
Actually,
Looking
pretty
at
much
you, and
most shows.
as much as it pains me to say this, looking at you, Ahsoka, you let me down.
Yep. That ending was not.
It was a good show until the 5th episode.
After that, it went.
And then after that, oh my god.
Yeah, we can do a whole show on that though, on the failures of Ahsoka.
Yeah. Oh man, my crow is served and ready for me to eat it.
Yep.
Oh. What else do we have for today? Apart from this Battle of Strike.
Well, we didn't have. I mean, we talked about everything else. I don't know what Keith wanted to talk to. We seem to have lost Keith for a minute. So,
Keith? Hello, Keith. Oh, Mrs. A, no, don't say something like that. Every voice is heard and every voice is important. Yeah, I don't know squat about this either. I'm here. Hey, Polly. Hello, man. How are you?
hey, Polly.
Yeah. Yeah. I cannot defend it anymore. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
it's
something like that. Oh my God.
that's entirely possible.
Yeah, I mean he's got a work schedule that comes straight from hell.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I'm looking to see if there's anything else we need to talk about.
I heard something. I don't know if you already talked about it. That Disney had a practice of canceling things after 3 months.
3 years.
Oh,
Yeah.
3 years.
No, we didn't cover that. But
Yeah.
let me see if I can find something on that.
So when I was in the car heading back home, hearing hearing you talk about the work of Mr. Giffen.
Yeah.
Oh, there's so much that I have to dive into. There's so much, so many characters I don't know. But man, yeah, I don't know how they plan to do a character like Guy Gardner. I mean, he's so anti-message.
Yeah, he
I don't,
is.
I don't see. They will have to tone him down to the point that the character will be unrecognizable. But hey,
Yeah.
I'm willing to give them a chance.
Well, I don't
I
think they'll. I don't. I don't think they. If I don't think they're using Gar Gardner right, and that's not. I don't know. He shouldn't be. I don't know. I I I guess I'd have to hear more actual details about what they're doing, not rumors. Because we have rumors constantly about this, that, the other thing, and you really just can't trust a lot of those rumors because there's a lot of people out there that just make stuff up, unfortunately, and it ruins the reputation of those that do have insiders and do get information.
Mm,
But
yeah, that's true. But I thought it was a given because they were saying that Nathan Fillion, who should be Hal Jordan and only Hal Jordan, but okay, if you're going to use him
I
as Guy, I don't know.
I'm thinking he's honestly, I hate to say this, but I think he's a little too old at this point.
Yeah, but I don't care.
I'll be back in a
It's
second.
yeah. Oh no! Don't leave me alone. Hey people, how are you? Hey Chad. Uh, can you give me some pointers of what do you want me to ramble about while the people that really know this This thing
I'm sorry.
comes over.
I went to try to call Keith, but his phone went straight to voicemail. So,
Hey, Penny.
so Keith is falling asleep.
Yeah.
Yeah. So nobody. Oh, Anima says she fell asleep too.
Oh, Anima, that got deep. That got really deep. You could have say that to us privately. Oh,
Yeah, that hurts, Anima. That really hurts.
and she laughed. Oh,
Yeah, there was something else Keith posted about that I need. I'll pull up here. Got to scroll up a
yeah.
bit.
There. We have Daredevil. Oh, but you have more comprehensive notes. That's okay.
Yeah, here's what one of the still classic or still remaining silver and bronze age comic writers says about the current Marvel universe.
Oh, oops. Sorry.
Jim Steranko suggests watching Marvel Comics Universe is painful.
Oh.
Yeah.
And we're in trouble now.
Hey, boss, we're in trouble. Oh, nope, he didn't want to come in. So.
Oh. I'm
Okay.
doing nothing. I'm doing nothing.
Yeah, it would be nice if I just popped in to watch, but okay.
Oh, sorry.
That's all right. Don't worry about it.
I thought you were coming in to save us from a sleeping Keith.
Now, what's going on?
Keith is falling asleep.
Oh my goodness, that's hilarious.
So we've been.
Yeah, if you guys haven't seen it yet, Polly, I just saw what Polly said in the chat. You need to go watch Echo Base's new video.
That's the one you posted.
Yeah, I posted it in our group chat. And they show the numbers. It's bad. It's bad. They have less views than the final episode of season 3 of Mandalorian.
Oh.
They have less views than Book of Boba Fett. It's Paulie. I love him. I don't know why he gets so mean to me. But Keith works all night, man, so it's rough on him.
Yeah.
I thought that Anima might be in here, but she's not.
No.
Oh no, she just came in to mocking us.
Oh,
yeah, she fell asleep too.
The show is so boring. The host fell asleep. Anyway, I just wanted to drop in. Make sure you guys saw that because these numbers are abysmal. 888,000 is terrible.
Damn, not even
the worst shows had 1.4 million viewership. I love you back, fool.
Yeah.
I can hardly wait until he finishes Lincoln Lawyer this new season because I want to talk about that show so badly. What a great season. And I love season 1. Season 2 is better than season 1.
And from what I'm seeing, it has better numbers than anything on Disney Plus.
An incredibly well done show. I love the show. I'm going to be checking out some other stuff today. We got a new episode. I think today's episode is the finale of Archer. And this season's been mostly good. But man, they did something. I don't think they were expecting the series to be canceled.
Yeah.
So they replaced Mallory. But in the process of replacing her, they use this as an excuse that, well, we lost Mallory, so we needed a new character. No, you didn't. Especially once it became, it's just, they completely, what's her name? Tyler? What's her name? I forget her name. Archer.
Oh.
Let me go look it up real quick.
Yeah, last night was the finale.
Aisha Tyler. Yeah, Aisha
Yeah.
Tyler, who plays Lana Kane. Her character has been relegated to a background character.
Yeah, which shouldn't be.
Which shouldn't be. Exactly. In fact, for the first 2 episodes, what's his name? Cyril Figgis. What's the scientist's name? I forget his name. God bless it. The guy that's apparently from the DNA of Adolf.
Yeah.
Oh,
Was relegated to Dr. Krieger. Lucky Yates
Krieger
does his voice. All relegated to like background characters. I mean, the great thing about Archer is what an ensemble cast it was and how well they worked well together. And then this season, they focused on this new woke character, female, that is a Mary Sue. Obviously, a Mary Sue right out of the gate. Is better than Archer, talks shit to him disrespectfully. And it's not like the way, because somebody, one of our friends mentioned, well, that's the, Mallory and Lana did that. I said, yeah, but there was a relationship there. This woman has no idea who Archer is. It just comes right through the door talking shit to him. And it comes off really bad in the writing. Please do, Polly. I'm telling you, the moment you are ready to talk about that show, I want to join you because I cannot sing better praises for that show. Great writing. The acting is incredible. Good storytelling. The plot twist. I saw it coming. I got to admit, I saw it coming, but I wasn't absolutely sure that was where they were going to go with where it went. I'm not going to say. Don't want to spoil it for you. But I saw it and I went, oh, if I was writing this, that's where I would go. They did. And I got all excited by it. So, but, and we're talking again about Lincoln Lawyer. What a great show. But Archer, final episode, it looks like it's aired already. So
last night,
it. I don't know if we were going to get a movie. I don't know why they canceled that show. They had good numbers. I don't know if that's Disney that ordered that. I don't know. It's really weird. Probably. I'm sorry. I put the wrong emphasis on the incorrect syllable.
Yeah. I just saw it. Today released the Fall House Usher that I've been waiting to see.
I don't know, man. I just don't know. I don't think much of Murphy as a writer.
I know, but I'm still willing to give it a look.
Anybody, what is it? Hill House.
Yeah.
The original book, I'm trying to remember her name. Give me a sec. Normally I can pull that name out and it just, The Haunting of Hill House, written in 1959 by Shirley Jackson. It's probably one of the best written Gothic ghost novels, modern Gothic ghost novels, which is why they right out of the bat made a movie because it was good. And I dislike writers who think they can do better than the original author.
Yeah.
And I enjoyed the first series, but it was nowhere near as good as the original story. And that bugs me. And Murphy goes out and he does, I think the best thing he's done is Dr. Sleep.
Oh, you mean Flanagan, not Murphy.
Is it Flanagan? I thought it was Murphy.
Yeah. Mike Flanagan.
Mike Flanagan. It's one of those fucking bog Irish mix.
Yeah.
And by the way, that is a derogatory term for us Irish people.
Yeah.
Bog
Well,
Irish mix.
he had
thank you, Wolverine.
He also did the 2017 Gerald's Game,
which I didn't like. I thought it was weak. compared to the story that King wrote. And I'm really not that big a fan of Stephen King. My rule with Stephen King is read to the last chapter, close the book, make up your own ending. It'll be better.
Yeah, I'm looking at what movies he's directed, and there's not a whole lot there that I actually like.
Yeah, see?
I mean,
I like this.
I liked Haunting a Hill House. I mean, the series, but Bly Manor wasn't as good.
Well, one thing I wanted to make sure of before we end the show here, we got 5 minutes, and I wanted to point out that we got Tom Conkle joining us tomorrow.
Yep.
Very excited about having him on tomorrow. It should be a good show. I love that guy. Tomorrow is, I do believe, the final day for his campaign. Please, watch the show. And if you would like to support his filmmaking, be a part of his campaign. Join his campaign and absolutely support his film. The idea behind this film, and he's talked to me about doing some of the artwork for the film, but I don't know. With my neck, I can only work so much on artwork, so I don't know if I'd be able to do it.
Yeah.
I just can't do art the way I used to.
Yeah, basically, he described it as Pirates of the Caribbean meets Star Wars.
Yep.
And I told him you had me at Space Pirates.
All I know is I'm looking forward to having him on tomorrow. So, what are you doing tomorrow morning, John?
We're going back into the world of Baldur's Gate.
Baldur's Gate.
Yeah, Baldur's Gate 3. People seem to be enjoying it. They're like, well, we want to keep watching this. So I'm like, okay, I'll keep doing it.
And by the way, I do want to point out, I actually think Ryan Murphy is a better writer than Mike Flanagan. I have had more appreciation for, what is that show he does with all the same cast most of the time, over and over again each season.
American Horror Story.
Yeah, American Horror Story. There's only a couple of seasons I thought were garbage.
Yeah,
they just went in a weird direction I didn't like. But I did enjoy what he does. I like what he does. And I loved his movie about Betty Davis and Joan Crawford. The miniseries. Whoa, that was good. What's this? The studios walk away from negotiations. The next day, the Senate bill proposal is announced.
That's following this one.
Yeah.
But I mean,
oh,
unauthorized.
Well, somebody needed to step in because you can't do that. There's, actors, whether they're background actors or stars, it doesn't matter. They've got rights.
Yeah,
but
I agree.
To me, this is useless because that was in effect. Remember how the page person sued a company because they thought the character they use in a video game, they thought.
Well, it leads to
let's
go back even further to Marvel when they were doing the new Nick Fury, and it made it look like Samuel L. Jackson. Would they get in trouble today with that bill? And that's what we're going to be getting into is, will this filter over into, because all of us that do comics like to cast actors that we like in our stories, and we'll make characters look like an actor. Well, is this going to bleed over into what we do?
I think it's specifically AI generated.
Right now it is. You see what I'm saying? Right now it is.
But correct me if I'm wrong.
But it's going to fall. It will filter into likenesses. I guarantee you.
There's a line between fair use and making someone look like someone, and completely replacing the someone with their own likeness in an AI generated performance. Yeah. So I don't think that line will be crossed because fair use will hold that off.
Now the one thing I do, by the way, that's very smart. When I use actors in my comic books, I actually get them to sign a likeness agreement. I have every single document signed, stating that I'm
I
legally
was
allowed to use their likeness.
I was
in my
going to
comics.
ask that. Don't you need permission of the actor for use their
No,
likeness?
again, Sam Jackson, Nick
Yeah.
Fury.
Well, he was honored by that though. So I
Yeah,
mean,
well, you see, but they honored is not permission.
right.
That is later, after they already did it. It's after the fact. What you do is you make it kind of look like somebody without it really being them. That should be the gray area, reminiscent of an actor.
Well,
But it's
that's
clearly obvious if you go back and look at the artwork. That's Sam Jackson.
Oh yeah.
And they
Well,
could have gotten into legal trouble over that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that was a gamble.
Yeah, it was, and it paid off for him. But Rockstar got sued by Lindsay Lohan because Lindsay Lohan said the character looked like her, and yeah, it does look like her. But the court said so. It's not you. It doesn't say Lindsay Lohan. It doesn't. The character isn't. It's even if it is supposed even if it's supposed to be you, it falls under parody law. So.
Hey, Peter girl.
Bateman's girl was pulling a Keith and fell asleep.
Yeah.
But I do like the name of it. That is funny. The bill is called No Fakes Act. I told somebody I wouldn't mind because I have used in the past when I was in a hurry, hired, what do they call them? Rough artists. And these are people that their job is primarily just to rough out a page for me. I'll tell them how I like my panels. And then what they'll do is they'll do some layout. And they're very rough. There's no details. And then I will go in and do the actual pencils. Using, I'd say about close to 85% of what they sketched out I'd use. Because I was very specific in the kind of artists that I would hire. Guys that looked visually at storytelling the same way I do. But I've only done that twice on bigger projects, like when I worked on Iron Sky and when I worked on Alan Wake, the video game for Xbox. When I did that, and over 1 million copies of that comic was sold. It was one of those proud moments of mine.
They're releasing Alan Wake 2, right?
No, it was Alan Wake's. It was a side quel. It was the stuff that was happening during the game.
No.
No. They're releasing Alan Wake 2. There's another sequel to the game now coming out.
Yeah, I don't know. I never heard anything from Miko. He's a friend of mine that writes those. I don't know if he wrote that. I haven't heard anything. And I don't know if I'm going to play it. I'm kind of outgrown Alan Wake now. But it's one of those things. I was very proud to be part of that. Also proud of working on Iron Sky, which is fun. And what's funny is they kept some of my original ideas. My original ideas, like all the famous UFO stories were Germans. And I came up with this idea that they didn't do the whole thing where they're trying to capture a cow and ended up mutilating it because they couldn't get it up into the UFO. It was too big. And every time they would try to pull it up, the weight of the cow would pull the UFO down and they end up dragging it to death on the road. And it's in the comic. That was my idea. That's just funny. Stupid shit that because I said every single famous story from Roswell to today should all be the story of Germans hiding on the moon, flying down here to get shit, and then getting in trouble. I said the shenanigans. It's making fun of, Nazis.
Yep, it does.
We need to end it now because I'm looking actually over at, because you guys are only coming up to the 2-hour mark. You still have 6 minutes, so I thought I'd go to the full 2 hours rather than focusing on the time. But we are definitely about to wrap. So VisionCon is happening this weekend here in Springfield. Big show. I'm not going to be going, but I do believe Keith is going, isn't he?
Yeah, Keith is going. Yeah,
Keith is going. And John is not coming down, sadly.
No, I've got my class reunion this weekend. So
yeah. So and the other reason I'm not going is because I'm just not up to just hanging around with hundreds of people this year.
Yeah.
You know, I've gone through too much this year, and I just kind of want to focus on doing that. So, but yes, Kyle is here. And before we end the show, I better, geez, Marie, I got to switch to the main.
Yeah.
Oh,
You guys. You're killing me. You're killing me, Smalls. Get to the video. God, that was an endeavor to get to one video. Here we go.
Hey, fuck you, Kyle.
There you go.
We just need to make sure that video's put on every
or just make sure every logo is on the main.
Yeah.
So you can flip over and not have what happened just happen, you know.
Yeah.
So, but let's see. All right. This show's gone on long enough.
Yeah.
You guys started 10 minutes late?
Yeah. Well, we were Keith was having phone issues.
Oh.
You know, because he got the brand new phone and it's
trying to figure it out is probably what made him tired. So, but yeah, we'll go ahead and wrap up here. Let's see, where's the I gotta get to that thing. I gotta play this one.
Sounds awesome.
Yeah, there we go. Anything else I should mention? Like, what are we doing on Saturday? I forgot what movie.
I don't recall off the top of my head. Nightmare on Elm Street. Nightmare on Elm Street. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I got to make sure. I got to get a hold of Jeff. I have got to get a hold of Jeff from Fanzine.
Yeah.
Because I want to get him on to talk about that. You know, his love is just like mine. I love 80s horror, man. Some of my favorite horror came out either in the 80s or the early 90s, before movies started really getting to suck in the mid 90s. So, but
Monday is the Force 10 from Navarone.
Looking forward to that
Monday.
One. Big fan of that film. It's not as good as Guns of Navarone, but it is a fun film.
Yeah.
And we're lucky we even got it. It took him 17 years to get the sequel, because he wrote the sequel the same year as they released the movie. And he wrote it as a screenplay. And then they waited for so long, he got frustrated, and he says, fuck it. And Alice McLean turned it into a novel.
Yep.
So by the time that they finally made the sequel, they had to say that it was adapted from
the novel. Yeah.
The novel. So, but anyway, we'll be doing that on Monday. It'll be fun. Everybody have a good Thursday, and we'll see y'all tomorrow.
Yep. Have a good one.
Bye.